Kakadosh Boker Tov. We're continuing. We're going to do the halachot of Megillah, or we're going to start of Purim. And there was a very interesting halacha brought down in Siman Tafresh Tzadik Vav, Siv Daled. Maran brings down here, Kol divrei Avelut nohagim b'Chanukah u'Purim. All the halachot of Avelut, of mourning, they apply whether it's going to be on Chanukah and Purim. Now, this is what Maran brings down here. And there's the Ramah, that the Ramah says, Yesh Omrim, some people say, She'en Avelut Noeg Purim. There's no Avelut on Purim, not on the 14th or the 15th, and that's the Minhag, and therefore even Avelut Yom Rishon is going to push it off because of Purim. Aval Dvarim Shebetzina Noeg. However, though, anything which is going to be private matters will be Noeg. Now, there's actually a stira in the Shulchan Aruch. Why? The Shulchan Aruch in Yoreh Deah, Siman Taf Aleph Siv Zayin, says Maran, that there is no Avelut Noeg Bepurim. Lo b'Yudalev, lo b'Tetvav, el advarim shebetzina. So therefore, you have a stira in the Shulchan Aruch that here, in Orach Chaim, it's mashma in the Shulchan Aruch that there is a problem of Avelut on Purim. But over there, Maran and Ilchot Avelut, which that's the halachot where you would look up, he says mefurash that there's not. So in order to come and actually understand though, some people say Maran Chazar bo, he retracted, but for sure we are going to be posek like Yoreh Deah, for many different reasons, whether it's going to be because Yoreh Deah came after Orach Chaim, so therefore you go afterwards always Mishnah Acharona, what came afterwards, or it's because that's the ikar of the place where to look up the halachot, and therefore that's where you're going to look, and that is the psak of the Kaf HaChaim and the Chazon Ovadia, which means that at the end of the day there's no dvarim befarhesia on Purim, only dvarim shebetzina, only things which are private matters, there are no heg avelut on Purim, but nothing public. And therefore it says Rav Ovadia Yosef, if you have two partners and they have a partnership in a store and one of them becomes an avel. Now again, we're not talking about the avelut of the 30 days or the year. We're talking about even the avelut of the week. So all of a sudden we know that if it's going to be avelut of the week, there's going to be a problem of opening up the store. Why? Because then they're going to say this guy's opening up his store during the avelut. However though, since right now if he's not going to open up the store, it's avelut b'farhesia, so therefore they're allowed to open up the store even though it's during the week of his avelut. And says Rav Ovadia, v'gam ha'avel atzmo yachol liftoach. Even the avel himself could open up the store, because since again avelut b'farhesia is going to be asur, and it's only going to be mutar, things which are going to be private matters but not public, it's going to be mutar. So now where does this translate in our days? So there's going to be a few halachot. One halacha is going to be very important, the entire concept of Seudat Purim. If there was a minhag, the person would go to other people's houses, right, for Seudat Purim. Or, for example, our mishteh, that there is a Seudat Purim and everybody comes every single year. So now if right now he's not going to show up, so what's going to happen? Everyone's going to say, 1 second, why didn't he come? He comes every single year. It's true, he's in Avelut. That's called already Avelut b'farhesia. Once it's already Avelut b'farhesia, you're not allowed to do Avelut b'farhesia. And therefore you're allowed to come to Seudat Purim that you've always come to. Why? Because you're not allowed to do that. The same halacha would apply even throughout the year. We know that many times also there's no Avelut b'farhesia on Shabbat, right? And you're not supposed to have a Seudat Miri'im. Seudat Miri'im means that throughout an entire year of a parent, you're not supposed to go out to parties, even if there's no music, or to big get-togethers. However, though, imagine right now, somebody comes and they invite you to their house on Shabbat, and there's going to be a few families there, but it's a Shabbat meal. So it's not a Seudat Mitzvah. You could come and you could have a Shabbat meal in your own proper house. But if throughout, you always used to go out on Shabbatot to different meals, meaning you used to go always to different people's houses on Shabbat, and now all of a sudden you're going to say, no, I can't. Well, why can't you? Because he's in Avelut. There's no Avelut b'farhesia on Shabbat. Also on Shabbat there's no Avelut b'farhesia, which means you cannot show publicly that you're in mourning, and therefore you're allowed to go to a Shabbat meal to different people's houses. So says the halacha, the exact same thing is here, and that is the psak of Ovadia Yosef as well, which is basically that here, according to Shitat Maran, on Purim you're allowed to come to Seudat Purim as long as you always used to come. So that way people are not going to say that the reason why you're not coming is because of Avelut. And this halacha applies even if there's music. Okay, even if there's going to be music. Now they're not allowed to dance with the music. That they're not allowed to do, because there, it could be you just don't like dancing, but not because of anything else. Right? However though, right, to do with the actual attending, you're allowed to attend. Another important halacha is going to be mishloach manot. there's going to be a machloket between Maran and the Rama. Maran says, Yesh mi sheomer she'avel chayav lishloach manot. Right? Maran says an avel is obligated in mishloach manot. Comes the Rama and says, Aval en sholchin la'avel yud bet chodesh. You're not supposed to send to an avel the entire 12 months. However, the Rav Ovadia Yosef says minhag Sfaradim is to send mishloach manot as normal, even to an avel. He just says that you shouldn't send them like all these candies and all these things. You should just send them regular mishloach manot, whether it's going to be with food, fruits, vegetables, things like that. Right? However, though, again, there's going to be differences of opinion between Sfaradim and Ashkenazim. But in this case, again, you're going to have that for avelut, even if a person is going to be in an avelut of the shloshim or avelut of the year, they are permitted to come to a Seudat Purim that they've always come to, and then again, but just not to dance, but they're allowed to attend, even if there's going to be music. And to do with Mishloach Manot, obviously they're obligated in Mishloach Manot, because the Anavel is obligated in all the mitzvot in the Torah. So therefore, if right now he's got a mitzvah d'Rabbanan to come and to give Mishloach Manot, he's obligated to give Mishloach Manot. But even to receive Mishloach Manot, Shitat Maran, and that's the minhag of the Sfaradim, is that we're allowed to give to an Avel Mishloach Manot, and however, just not candies or whatever. Or another way that people get out of it, even though again this is only according to the Ramah, that you're not allowed to, is that you give it to the family. You don't give it to the individual, the one that he's actually mourning. So if you're giving it to the family, for sure that's going to be permitted, right, without any problem whatsoever.